guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out Russia messes with the US Navy, then something happened. We don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but this happened apparently. Don't know what this is. I'm guessing the US Navy retaliates.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's find out.
Russia's messing with them, okay.
Yeah, so they're messing out. I'm guessing they retaliate and absolutely
I'm
would
hoping,
be my guess.
I'm hoping.
Smash that button if you're enjoying the content, guys. Smash the subscribe button as well, you absolute legends. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's get into it. What we got? You got the mouse. You're controlling.
In August 2025, the Ford Carrier Strike Group had been doing what American sailors have done here for 40 years.
That's a beast
keeping the North Atlantic open so
well.
IKEA furniture could reach American living rooms.
IKEA.
Everything was fine until a circling aircraft detected something that would trigger the most intense submarine hunt since the Cold War.
Oh, wow.
Unknown to the Americans, the Russians had just received orders from the Northern Fleet. Close with the Americans and collect everything. But
Wait,
Moscow was about to learn why challenging the U.S. Navy in the Atlantic is about as smart as telling your wife she's gained 10 pounds. Inside the Ford's combat information...
Why don't we know about this? I feel like this feels like quite a big thing we should know about.
I've never heard of this. Yeah.
That's what I mean, and this was 2025.
I feel like there's so much stuff that happens, though. Between
it might have been on
that this probably was mentioned, and
yeah, it might have been on the news for a day and we just missed it potentially as well. But I've not heard this.
Center, the tactical action officer watched the submarine's vectors with the calm that comes from having 4 Arleigh Burke destroyers with enough ordnance to turn any submarine into an artificial reef.
Yeah.
At the Russians' current speed, they'd reach torpedo range in exactly 47 minutes. The math was simple for the Russians. Their torpedoes would cover the remaining distance in under 6 minutes once launched. But the Ford's escorts had ASROCs, which are anti-submarine rockets that could reach them in 90 seconds. At 15:03, the admiral wanted to know the probable intent of the Russian boats. The answer was obvious. At current speed and heading, they'd be within intelligence collection range in 40 minutes.
Okay.
The recommendation was to go to general quarters, but the admiral's response was pure American confidence. Let's see how badly they want to embarrass themselves first. That's assuming they could even maintain their approach undetected. Within seconds, Link 16 automatically shared the submarine data across every NATO asset in the region. What happened next was like watching a SWAT team respond to someone trying to rob a lemonade stand. A British Type 23 frigate conducting exercises 50 miles north immediately turned south at blank speed. 8 P.8 Poseidons scrambled from bases in Scotland, Norway, and Iceland.
Oh, wow.
Each one a $130 million submarine hunter that could hear a shrimp sneeze at 500 meters depth. The Virginia-class submarine.
That's just quite mad.
Quite good hearing.
Well, yeah, that's incredible hearing. I can't even hear a shrimp sneeze if it was like down there.
You can't even hear me calling your name.
Yeah, selected now in Jerry.
Which had been shadowing the Russians since they left port 3 days ago, finally got permission to make her presence felt.
Okay.
At 15:15, the tactical picture went from interesting to comedy gold.
Okay.
The Russians executed what they thought was a clever deception. One sub ascended to 200 meters, making deliberate noise, while the other two went deep, trying to slip in undetected.
But then you got
Classic Wolfpack tactics from 1943. Except this was 2025. And NATO's acoustic processors could tell the difference between a noisy decoy and 2 quiet submarines that sounded like a broken...
Why they got their faces covered in gloves on?
Did they?
Yeah.
It was quite... Oh, yeah. I didn't know. I guess maybe that's to hide their identity. Maybe it was like a Navy thing video, what they were doing. And because obviously a lot of this is stock images, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Like, this is stock images of, like, Navy stuff, I'm guessing. It looks
okay, this isn't actually, like, video.
They've not gone in as a documentary of this. I'm pretty sure it's just stock images.
Okay. I was going off the fact that it was...
Maybe it is. Maybe clips have come out on it and stuff like that, but I think it's just pieced together different clips. Again, please let us know in the comments below. But I think it's just, like, similar stock images of it and all that. Kind of trying to recreate a similar thing.
It's doing a good job because it fooled me. If it is.
I don't actually know, though.
If it is, though.
Yeah.
Broken wheel in a shopping cart. The Russians weren't just being aggressive. They were attempting a coordinated intelligence operation that would have been cutting edge in 1985. They wanted to record the Ford's acoustic signatures, map her escort formations, catalog radar emissions. all valuable intelligence if you're planning to fight the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
The problem for the Russians was they had no idea what was coming next, as numerous ships and aircraft converged
just
on their
in on
position
them.
like a swarm of Karens descending on a restaurant manager.
That's mad, like the
By
the
200
amount of
hours,
speed
the
that-
first P-8 Poseidon arrived overhead, and the 3 Russian submarines were about to learn what hammering meant in NATO terms. The P-8 is a Boeing 737 that gave up carrying tourists to Florida to become
I was
the
going to
world's
say a
most
Boeing
sophisticated
737 rings a bell. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like-
passenger one.
Yeah, that's definitely a passenger
But
one.
this is just kitted out to the extreme.
Marine Hunter. It costs $130 million and can hear a dolphin argue with its spouse at 500 meters depth. The P-8
Wow.
started its work by
That's
dropping
quite
sono
loud, though.
buoys in what's called a boxing pattern. These die-cast buoys, directional command activated sono buoy systems, basically underwater microphones that scream at submarines until they give up their position.
Oh, wow.
Cost
okay.
more than most Russians make in a year, and NATO was giving them away like they were going out of style.
Wow.
Each buoy started pinging active sonar at 140 decibels.
Okay.
For reference, that's louder than a gunshot.
Yeah,
and it's
that'll hurt
happening
your earring.
inside a metal tube. Imagine being locked in a shipping container while someone plays drums on the outside forever.
That would annoy
Inside
me.
the
Well, that's
Kazan,
like-
the first
so- sorry, I thought that was like ringing back to them and they were getting it at. If they're pinging 140 decibels into it, I feel like anything over, I'm pretty sure anything over 80 decibel can start to damage your hearing.
I think that's the whole point, though, isn't it? It's the whole point is that
Oh, it's meant to be a deterrent.
really annoy them.
But 140 is very, very loud.
ping hit like someone had replaced their submarine with a giant bell, and the rock had just taken a swing. The sonar operators ripped off their headphones so fast, they probably needed neck surgery. That beautiful silent service reputation, gone.
Yeah.
They were now the loudest thing in the ocean, like a Harley Davidson at a meditation retreat, every 30 seconds. Ping, no escape, no relief. Just ping.
That would annoy me.
While the
after a while.
Russians were
Yeah,
running
it
in
would.
circles, the P-8 crews were living their best life. Fresh crews every 4 hours, actual food that wasn't served through a tube, bathrooms that didn't share space with nuclear missiles. They were basically operating from a flying WeWork, while the Russians were trapped in the underwater equivalent of a Spirit Airlines middle seat.
Yeah, it's not
But
ideal.
the
is
U.S.
it?
Navy just got started. Time for the Arleigh Burke destroyers to earn their paychecks. They activated their
Ooh,
hull-mounted
destroyers.
sonar, a bow-mounted spherical array containing hundreds of transducers that listens for echoes bouncing off submarines like underwater radar, and joined the acoustic assault.
Oh, they
These
went
systems
for
can
it.
pump
Yeah.
out so much acoustic energy that fierce near the ship literally gets stunned. The Russians weren't just being hunted. They were experiencing what happens when America decides to use the ocean as a concert speaker. Then came the simulated
That is
attack
literally
runs.
Yeah.
P-8s would dive from 25,000 feet, screaming toward the ocean like they were about to drop weapons. The Russian submarine crews, already running on no sleep, had to assume each run might be real. Emergency dive, blow ballast, hard rudder.
Oh,
It's like someone
panic.
trying to play that hand slap game where they fake you out 50 times, you flinch every time, even when you know they're just messing with you. The Kazan tried the
That's
submarine
what I mean,
equivalent
like,
of flooring.
If I was in that submarine, you've got to be like prepared for a bomb. Even though you think it's probably not going to happen, you've
Still got to be on.
prepared.
Yeah, you've still got to be ready to have one, because the minute you don't is when they're going to do it. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If it was going to happen, it would be when you least expect it, I guess. So it's just like that fainting is just working.
It in a police chase, a 30-knot sprint to break contact. The OK-650V reactor pushed 43,000 horsepower through the water, which sounds impressive, until you realize it made them sound like someone threw a washing machine full of hammers down an elevator shaft.
that doesn't
But
sound
why
good.
would the Russians put up with all this crap? Look at the radars on the Ford's mast. Every radar has a fingerprint, specific frequencies, pulse patterns, power levels. Get those, and you can develop jammers to bind it. They were
Okay.
recording the entire
That's a lot of good
electromagnetic
information.
spectrum, cataloging every emission. The carrier launches aircraft every 90 seconds during flight ops. That pattern tells you crew shift schedules, maintenance windows, and vulnerability periods.
Okay.
They were mapping which escorts used which data link channels, how the formation communicated, building a digital blueprint of American carrier operations.
Not today.
This intelligence would let them develop specific weapons and tactics to attack carrier groups. Except NATO wasn't going to let them finish their homework assignment. All three submarines launched acoustic decoys, devices designed to mimic submarine sounds and confuse pursuers.
Okay.
NATO's response was beautiful. Their computers classified each decoy in about a third of a second.
Wow.
Basically said,
Not even a
that's
second.
cute, and maintained the perfect tracking
guys
on
freak me
all
out, but-
three real submarines.
Yeah.
It was like watching someone try to escape the cops by throwing a mannequin out of their car, while the cops have helicopters and satellites and your license plate number. And it was only going to get worse from here. By hour 24, NATO had turned submarine hunting into performance art. A British ship arrived with her Type 2087 towed array sonar, dragging 2 kilometers of hydrophones, basically underwater.
I mean, we're all going to figure out what they did. But like, if they can't actually bomb them, because obviously that's just going to start the next big thing, how can they actually deter them? If they're going faster than the aircraft carrier, how can they deter them to not go? Are they saying that if you go in that range, it's a declaration of war? Is that what they're saying, do you think? Or
I have no idea.
it'd be
You
interesting to
raise
see
a
how
good
this
point.
ended. Because like, if you're not going to bomb them, they could just, yes, it's annoying from the sound and everything, but it could just keep going until
Yeah,
they get in
because
there.
they might not. Yeah, if they believe that nothing's going to happen, they may just front it out and just.
And just keep going
And
and
then
get
how
the
long do you
info.
keep putting the noise in for?
But then I guess it's a case of, do you determine them getting that info as a declaration of war because they've gone into your space, which you
Yeah, it's
make
becomes
clear
a
you don't
sticky
want them to.
situation,
It's
doesn't
tough, isn't it? Yeah. Honestly,
The listening devices behind her. MH-60 Romeo helicopters started taking shifts,
gosh, got in the
hovering
sky
50
now.
feet above the water and
Helicopters.
lowering their
Ooh, what is
dipping
that?
sonar looking for the
Oh,
subs.
Oh no.
The Russians were
cool.
trying to hide using thermocline layers, basically underwater temperature boundaries that can deflect sonar. Too bad dipping sonar goes straight through them like they're not even there.
Oh wow.
It's like trying to hide from your wife behind a glass door. But despite how easy
I like
these
small
aircraft
liners.
made it look, the
They also must be
coordination
about
all of
wives.
this took was insane, and one wrong move could leave someone bonking someone else. To accomplish this, NATO had divided the airspace into blocks. P-8s from 20,000 to 25,000 feet. Helicopters below 500 feet,
Yeah,
with
big
5,000
difference.
foot separation between aircraft horizontally. Each nation was assigned specific radio frequencies. Americans on UHF, British on VHF, Norwegians on both because they had to translate.
Okay.
Every aircraft had an assigned patrol box, like aerial parking spaces, and you needed permission from the airborne controller to leave your box.
Okay.
The controller was juggling aircraft from 3 nations, all with different capabilities and limitations.
Yeah, it's
The
quite
Data
hard
Fusion
actually.
Yeah.
Center at
imagine
Northwood
it
was
is.
combining sensor feeds from all platforms in real time, creating a 3D picture of the battle space that looked like the world's most expensive video game. But this was real life, and these sailors were having a grand old time with the Russians. The helicopters would hover directly above the submarines, lower their sonar, and start pinging. The Russian crews could probably feel it in their teeth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Arleigh Burke destroyers weren't just using their hull sonar. They deployed their ANSQR-19 towed arrays, basically dragging their own underwater microphones to catch any sound the Russians made. Rumor has it, one Russian submariner asked his captain if they could just surface and apologize because the pings were hurting his tummy. The
Oh,
Russians
wow.
weren't just being hunted.
If it's that loud, do you know what I mean? Like I said,
Yeah, it's probably hurting you everywhere.
over 100 is super, super loud, so it's not going to be ideal, is it?
No.
But again, like, they keep finding them, they're pinging them, but what can they do to actually stop them?
I think they're going to give up soon. But
They were experiencing what happens when America decides to use the ocean as a speaker system. The submarines soon had more sonar contacts on their screen than a Kardashian has Instagram notifications. Between P-8s above, helicopters at medium depth, and surface ships all around them, this wasn't hunting anymore. This was a smackdown.
Yeah,
NATO
just
had
following
turned the
it.
Norwegian Sea into a 48-hour EDM festival where Russia couldn't find the exit and the base never stopped. But here's the beautiful part. Remember that Virginia-class submarine we mentioned? For 48 hours, this American submarine maintained perfect trail position using its TB-34 towed array sonar, running so quiet on electric motors that it was basically a ghost with torpedoes. The crew was watching this unfold like a Netflix documentary called Making a Submariner, Why Russia Can't.
Wow.
They were recording every sound, every evasive maneuver, every desperate attempt to break contact. The Russians tried everything. Hide in underwater canyons, NATO-positioned helicopters directly overhead with dipping sonar, like fishing in a barrel. Change depth radically. The destroyer's sonar could track them from the surface to the sea floor. Sprint and drift. The American sub matched every move like a dance partner who knew the routine better than they did. At one point, the captain decided to send a message. One quick pulse of active sonar from their BQQ-10 bow array. Not enough to give away their exact position, but enough to let the Russians know they'd been followed the entire time. Imagine being stalked by John Cena for 2 days. You can't see him, but he's definitely there. And he occasionally whispers, "You can't see me," just to mess with your head.
That's quite
By
But
day
that does
two,
probably mess with it.
Yeah, especially because you think... Because I suppose at the end of the day, while we're getting pinged, they know we're getting pinged, they can't see all the planes, all the
They
boats,
can't see how
I guess.
watched they're being, I guess.
But then, like, when you just know there's something which you can't see, lurking behind you, could shoot you down in theory at any point.
Literally could
It's like,
mess them up.
It's like when you're walking down a dark alley and you're thinking you hear a noise.
Oh my
it's
god,
like,
I hate that. Yeah.
It's dodgy.
P8 crews had developed a system. They timed their sonar pings to prevent REM sleep cycles, just as the Russian crews would start
They
to
can't even
drift off.
sleep.
Ping! It's like having a roommate who sets their alarm
See,
for
they're gonna
every
give up
5
eventually.
minutes,
Yeah.
but never actually gets up. After 48 hours of this, the Russian sailors were probably seeing colors that don't exist and having conversations with people who weren't there. And it still wasn't over. The Russians were about to get desperate to break contact. After 48 hours,
wow.
the 3 Russian submarines tried desperately to run away. They used every trick in the Soviet handbook, which would have been great if this was 1982 and NATO hadn't written the handbook. Bottom terrain, the P-8 switched to magnetic anomaly detection. Radical depth charges, destroyers had them covered from surface to seafloor. Launch every remaining decoy, NATO systems cataloged them like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, they can't do
Gotta
all,
catch
can
them
they?
all, and they're all worthless.
catch them.
Well, at least most of the time.
Is that the Pokemon thing? Yeah.
After
Yeah.
several hours of this, the Russians soon learned that trying to break contact with NATO in the Norwegian Sea is like trying to lose the IRS during tax season. They know where you are, where
Yeah,
you're
you've got no
going,
chance.
and how much you owe them. The Russians finally had to abort their intelligence mission, which in military terms means run away while pretending it was the plan all along. They withdrew north, still submerged, probably composing their reports about the successful reconnaissance operation that definitely didn't involve 48 hours of acoustic hammering.
Yeah, they ain't mentioning that. to
NATO
you, know they?
maintained contact as they withdrew, like bouncers escorting someone out of the club. The P-8s followed them part way to ensure they actually left and to rub it in. Everyone knows what happened, but we're keeping up appearances. During those 48 hours, NATO collected enough acoustic intelligence to recognize these submarines from space. Every pump, valve, even how their toilets flush is now in NATO's database.
Suppose, yeah.
Crazy.
Russian state
It works the opposite way around, doesn't it? In terms of, like, obviously they were trying to get close to get the Gerald aircraft carrier, but now them submarines have just given all that info for 2 days straight.
Silly
Which
mistake.
ain't good for them.
media spun this as a successful intelligence gathering mission. Sure, and the Titanic successfully tested its ice detection capabilities.
Oh my
They
god.
learned that the Norwegian Sea is less contested waters and more NATO's swimming pool. The overall lesson was simple but profound. You can build all the advanced submarines you want, but if you can't handle 2 days of democracy's greatest hits played over active sonar, maybe don't go in the deep end next time.
Yeah, and they could
Bye
be
for
shot
now.
down at any point. That was good, I enjoyed that. I didn't hear about it at the time. Let us know in the comments. Did this make the news, or has this kind of been little down a little bit, but it came out eventually and now we got videos on it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I didn't see anything on it. And it seems quite a big thing, Russia trying to get that in.
I'm very close to the UK. I feel like we would have
I'm
heard
quite
about
close
it.
to the UK, yeah.
I feel like it would have been on the news, but
Smash that button if you enjoy, guys. Smash that subscribe button as well. You're absolute legends. Check you all subscribe. A lot of people recently have said they've got randomly unsubscribed by YouTube, so we would really appreciate it. And what should we do?
how fantastic!
And we'll see you legends in the next one. Peace. Oh, before we go, actually, sorry. If you made it to this to the end, you're a legend. Check out our GoFundMe.
Oh yeah,
We got a
links in the
GoFundMe
description.
in the description because we're hoping to come back to America in April. We're progressing very well with GoFundMe. We're super grateful. But we want to try and do as much as possible and but we're going to record it all and make awesome videos. So anything is really appreciated. If 5,000 people watch this video, £1 each, that massively helps. £5 each is insane.
Yeah.
And you know, £100 each, and we get to go to a World Cup.
No, we're not going to use it for the World Cup.
No, it's in America.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's in
Is
America
that
next year. It's like July time in America.
Oh wow.
Yeah, £100 each for 5,000 people, and then we will go from April to the end of the World Cup.
Yeah, because we'll just leave our job.
Because we wouldn't need our jobs. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. What should we do?
Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.